What's up, family? Welcome back to another legendary top of the moot reaction video. First and foremost, as you see on the screen, rest in peace, Bill Walton. Shout out to another legend, impactful, inspirational, wisdomatic person of the game, man. Great commentator on his own, doing his own thing. So I just want to take a moment of silence to rest in peace and also give honorary gratitude to a legend like himself, Bill Walton, man. I appreciate that, family. So with no further ado, let's get straight into the video. Let's go.
In a 1986 regular season game versus the Atlanta Hawks, the Boston Celtics were losing by 22 points at halftime. And in the locker room, the Celtics coach, Casey Jones, gave the team what Larry Bird called one of the best speeches I've ever heard.
Casey Jones got on us 3 times really hard. And that halftime talk he gave is one of the best I've ever heard.
And what happened next is why the 1986 Boston Celtics are the greatest team of all time. Because earlier in that season, on Christmas Day, the Celtics were beating the New York Knicks by 25 points in the second half. However, the Celtics ended up losing that.
25 points and they lost. Dang. The deficit. They couldn't close the game, but, things happen, man. You bounce back from them, and that's all.
Game in one of the most embarrassing losses in Larry Bird's career.
Turnover. Sparrow. The Boston Celtics are faced with the fact that they have squandered a 25-point lead. The underdog Knicks have gone wild at the buzzer, but the Knicks win in a...
One thing, man, New York got a committed fan base, bro.
Upset. They were down by 25 points and they came back, and this is going to be one of the big comebacks we have seen in many a year, Tom.
The loss to New York on Christmas Day was something that was embarrassing to the players, but nothing really gets them down for long. And you have to do that over an 82-game schedule. You can't have those lows that are going to carry on for days. And you want to just keep consistent play and carry on.
That loss demanded this team to refocus, because after that game, they made us...
That's one thing, because the mental capacity, you can't dawn on something that happened. You got to keep moving forward, especially, like you said, in an 82-game series. You cannot be down for a consistent period of time, because at the end of the day, that will show in regards of how impactful you will be from a successful standpoint, or I should say how successfully impactful you will be if you dawn on it. But thank goodness and thankfully they don't dawn on it. They learn and they get better.
Strange promise to each other that sparked one of the most dominant runs in NBA history.
The team got together. Everybody said, okay, look, man, we're dedicated. We lost a Christmas game, a double overtime game to New York, played really poorly, had every chance to win that game. And afterward, everybody got together and said, man, we got to play better than this.
And one night we were sitting around very late.
My man, Bill Walton, man.
Having a really good time. And every night after the games, we were out together.
Well, Bill liked after games used to always come in the locker room and pop a beer and we all got together and I remember Bill Walton, of course. Bill says,
we're really close. We're really close to the championship here. How about we make a vow right now, right here and now, amongst ourselves, that nobody will take another drink until we win the championship. And everybody goes, yeah, I'll drink to that.
We're
Wow, that's very inspirational, though.
To drink until we win the championship. So
That never gets old. That never gets old.
We're planning on winning it this year. so Bill said, well, of course, And so everybody quit drinking, and we all got together. And from that point on, I think we were like 16-10.
The Celtics won 17 out of their next 18 games after that promise. But during that winning streak, they got caught off guard by a stacked Atlanta Hawks team.
That's crazy how beer took an inspirational push on how effective they became, being 60-10.
We're playing a game down in Atlanta, and this is how long ago this was, because Atlanta was a good team. And they had Dominique. And Doc Rivers.
Battle, brings it out right. 1 second, that's the game, that's good. Rivers hits the shot at the buzzer.
And Reggie Theus.
The outlet to Theus. Look at the antelope spin. Gives it. Oh, yes! Holy! And Reggie puts on a
nice
show
pass.
for the home folks.
Flashy, man.
Kevin the Penguin Willis.
3 to go. Willis to the baseline. Scored in a foul.
Oh, Willis with a great move.
Tree Rollins.
Bird turns, has the shot blocked.
Tree Rollins, my man look like Jack and the Beanstalk. He that tall? How tall is he?
And all these guys, and we are getting hammered. We're just getting killed.
Everything worked well except the shot itself. Spud Webb. Impressive. Wow. Atlanta by 15. Right now they are blowing the Celtics away here in the first half.
Question as far as Atlanta's concerned is, can they sustain this
I like the green suits, man.
high for 48 minutes? This is not easy to do, even at home in front of a sellout crowd. Pick a category in this game, and the Celtics lost it.
Yes,
well, Atlanta won it, I should say, because this is a good old-fashioned beating up to now. Now they're still shooting from outside, trying to get back into it.
Eddie Johnson goes coast to coast, and Atlanta leads by 23.
We're down 25 at the half, and they're all trash talking, and fans are throwing stuff at us. And they're
Well, there's always two halves, like Larry Bird said, man. There's always two halves.
Kill you, Celtics. Bird, Walton, McHale, Parrish, DJ. You guys are all frauds. What are you talking about?
Loose ball foul is called on the Atlanta Hawks. Now Eddie and Dennis Johnson are going after each other.
Tensions are high
Eddie
now.
Johnson went to throw the ball at Dennis. And Tree Rollins is entering the picture, as is Randy Whitman.
Atlanta, they talk trash. They're up by 20 at halftime.
Yeah, that was in
the crowd's yelling and all that stuff. You used to like that, though. You used to like when the crowd got on you.
When the fans were into it, or we wasn't into it, they let us know. Now it's time to battle.
And at the end,
So they fed off the energy of the fans. It was like a being in sync thing. Yeah, the fans were into it. We weren't into it. It's time to battle. You know what I'm saying? So I like how they fed off the fans and also gave them what they came to see.
end of the first half, a standing ovation at the Omni for the red-hot Atlanta Hawks. They lead the Celtics 70-48.
And Atlanta had been waiting, I guess, about a month to just get us. They'd been on the roll, and little did we know coming in that they had this kind of emotion built up already. They started the first quarter off and just ran us off the court.
He's a very calm coach, man.
At halftime, we're down 23. It was not enough. They had a 23-point lead at the time, but they also had to verbalize. At halftime, Robert Parrish said, they're talking at us, they're slamming us, and then they're talking more. And each time he mentioned a word, it seems like he got a little more angry.
So we come in at halftime, we're just sulking in there with tails between our legs. We walk in, we're sitting in the locker room, and Casey Jones, our fantastic coach, the most like John Wooden of any coach I've ever been a part of.
K.C. Jones got on us 3 times really hard. And that halftime talk he gave is one of the best I've ever heard.
Casey walks in, he looks at us, looks at his watch, doesn't say a word, walks over to the cooler and pulls out a beer. Pops the beer, goes and sit down.
Wow, bro, that's classy. That's different.
Puts down the beer, just sitting there.
Say nothing.
Finishes the beer, looks at his watch, looks at us, goes over to the cooler and gets a second beer. Pops the beer, pounding it down, doesn't say a word. Looks at his watch, looks around at us, goes and gets a third beer, does the same thing.
Oh, my goodness, bro. A coach that ain't got to say nothing, but I think you get the message. Let's see.
And then he gets up, looks at his watch for the final time, and he says,
A lot of you guys have been here for a long time, but obviously you don't know what it means to be a Celtic. You know, even the whole thing about having pride. You're wearing the jersey. And he never screamed or never yelled. And he goes, we got it in us to come back and win this game. But we have to do it. We got to dictate the second half of how we want to play. But once I stepped on the parquet, you felt indebted to him to at least go out there and try to do something special that night and win a basketball game.
let's go. So we go out there and we're warming up.
What so many words he said, y'all better get it moving. That was like a father sitting down basically telling you, boy, you better get it together, boy. You better get it together.
The third quarter. And they got a record sellout crowd there at the Omni.
Sellout crowd on hand. It was the earliest sellout for this game in Atlanta Hawks history, and it will be the biggest crowd they've ever had.
And then the team comes out in the second half just Eye of the Tiger, and it's a great game.
That's
it's a
the first.
bloodbath.
Gets it to Bird, who had 14 in the first half and now has 16.
To get into
You had to remind them what they representing and get it together. You know you got an amazing coach when they ain't got to say much.
Bird. That's 18 points in the ball game for Larry Bird. Now Ainge. They find Bird open. He winds up from 20. Tough. 3 for 3 for Larry Bird in the second half. 20 points for the game. Ahead to Dennis Johnson. DJ will take it all the way. Has it blocked. Bird comes up with it. The basket counts and it's foul.
You gotta love how Larry Bird always runs behind, seeking. Everybody runs to the basket as a team effort to get the board or get the rebound, to get putbacks like that, like Bird just did.
Larry Bird started the second half by hitting 11 straight shots because he had the Mamba mentality before it even existed. Larry Bird once said, "I've got a theory that if you give 100% all of the time, somehow things will work out in the end."
Yes, it will. He got that bird is the word mentality, man.
Push yourself again and again. Don't give an inch until the final buzzer. And that's exactly what he did that night.
Into the hands of Dennis Johnson. Livingston is in replacing Willis for Atlanta. Bird at the other end has Whitman on him, a much smaller man. Bird, spectacular. Larry Bird, 24 points for Bird.
Bird, not to be outdone, starting to put on a little show of his own now. Looks like an off-balance, low-percentage shot. Meanwhile, he got nothing but net.
And now Bird is smirking. He's got 12 points in this quarter and 26 in the ball game.
Don't turn off that set.
You can tell they getting frustrated that Bird keeps scoring because now they're trying to push the pace. Now you could tell when the Celtics coming back, the other team feels it. Because the Atlanta Hawks look like they're not playing the game no more. They just rushing the score back down on the other end. So they rushing the game, rushing the pace, rushing their plays.
You watch an NBA game, and nobody wants to ever take the ball out of bounds because they know they're never going to get it back. Larry Bird always took the ball out of bounds. The selfless sacrifice that was Larry Bird's defining personal characteristic, what he would do to make other people's dreams come true. He's going to take the ball out of bounds, and that referee comes, and the referee hands the ball to Larry to start the third. We're down 25. Larry takes the ball and pushes it back into the midsection of the referee so that he can't get away, and the referee is like startled and staggered. What's going on here? We're all right there right in front of the Celtic bench. And Larry looks right into the soul, right through the eyes of that referee, and he says to him, "We're not going to quit. You make sure you don't quit either." Just like
checking the ref.
On the spot. Larry hit 11 straight shots to start the third, including 7 threes. We were tied at the end of the third. We won in overtime. We did not need a plane to get home last night. Larry Bird, you're awesome.
Strong comeback here in the
Larry
third
Bird
quarter.
is so classy. What he said. Yeah, I did that.
Ainge finds Bird cutting through. Larry fall away. Glass, 2 more. 31 points for Bird. Wow. 17 in this quarter. A moment ago, they took their lead. Bird in the lane. 33 points for number 33. Celtics lead 198. Parrish hits Larry Bird with it. 18-footer. Go! Larry Bird! 35 for Bird. And the Celtics have a 3-point lead with 48 seconds left. And what a comeback. Down by 22 at the half. The Celtics have gone ahead by 3 with 48 seconds left.
Come on, man. It's just Celtics.
He intentionally misses that one. Robert Parrish gets the rebound to Larry Bird. Ball game. Celtics win it by 3. What a win.
Just to show a flashy pass to say, get up out of here. We done.
For the Celtics here at the Omni in Atlanta tonight. And they're slapping high fives as they go off the floor. A marvelous overtime victory.
Not how you start,
The
it's how you
final
finish.
score here from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. The Celtics 125 and the Atlanta Hawks 122.
And we got out there and we ended up beating them.
That was my favorite regular season win from the '86 team, which was my favorite team.
Real funny.
Oh my God. Winner, we'd win a game. Bill would come in and he'd open a beer, and I was like, that was the best game I've ever been involved in. And then the next night, that was the absolute best game I've ever been involved in.
Bill has humor, man. Gotta love it.
This game was...
He even is intrigued by his own teammate. Like, he was on the stands humbly when he was actually playing with him.
the greatest comeback of Larry Bird's career. And by the end of that season, Larry Bird won the regular season MVP and the finals MVP as he led the 1986 Boston Celtics to a championship, solidifying that team as one of the greatest teams of all time.
They lost on Christmas Day after having a 25-point lead. They had lost 5 out of 9, and then they grouped together, won 17 out of 18, and the Celtics used Christmas Day's disaster to go on and win their 16th NBA championship.
Gotta love it, man.
Bill, was there talk of you guys being the greatest team ever? Did you guys ever have that conversation?
We had a great team, and we loved each other, and we loved the way we played. Yeah. We had it all. We had size, strength, power, finesse, skill. Yeah.
He says finesse, skill, you name it, Bill.
And at the end of the day, we had Red Auerbach, Casey Jones, Larry Bird, and nobody else did. So we'll take our chances anywhere, against anybody, anytime.
You gotta love it, man. You gotta love the team effort. You gotta love the sportsmanship. You gotta love you gotta love their work ethic. You gotta love you gotta love their chemistry. You gotta love everything about it, man. With no further ado, family, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give this video a big thumbs up. It helps crush that YouTube algorithm. It's totally free. Remember, let the love supersede the hate. And until next time, peace, family.